You know, I don't want to dream of regretting anymore. No coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's all out there. I just want to put it all out there. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. This may be the wrong business to be in. You know, my dyslexia, I haven't overcome dyslexia. I'm living with it.
Well, that's California Democratic Governor, possible presidential candidate Gavin Newsom over the weekend. Raised some eyebrows to some folks, taking some criticism for those comments. Let's get reaction from Fox News chief political analyst Brit Hume. Britt, good evening. That speech was in Atlanta. It wasn't as portrayed a predominantly black crowd. It was a kind of mixed race crowd, but he did those comments, made those comments, and it was taken. The criticism was that it was pointed to his interviewer and the people down in Atlanta.
Yeah, it sounded that way, Brad. I mean, it was kind of a gaffe in the sense that it sounded like he was saying that, you know, I'm kind of dumb. I'm just a regular guy, just like you dumb guys are. I don't think that's what he meant, obviously, and in part he was talking about dyslexia, which is something that I guess he's dealt with his whole life and has managed to a great extent, it appears, to overcome. That's why he was talking about when he can't read a speech, it's difficult for him, which is understandable. But it was a kind of a blunder, and then of course his office is now out saying, you know, that people are misconstruing it and attacking him and so forth. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have said that differently for sure.
I mean, obviously we look through the prism of possible presidential candidates, and if this was a Republican, how would that have been treated in response to that? It probably would be a little bit different.
Oh, Brett, you know it too. I mean, if that were a Republican who said that, it would be denounced as racist and about everything else awful you could say about it, because, you know, in the media, Republicans don't get a pass on something like that, ever.
Yeah. Meantime, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez pushing back on the criticism of her statements in Munich that got a lot of attention, of her inability really to answer a question about Taiwan policy. Here's her pushback.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States.
I'm afraid the issue's not my understanding, but rather the problem is perhaps you've gotten adjusted to a president that never thinks before he speaks.
Obviously had some voice issues there, Britt, but pushing back, saying, look at the president.
Well, I guess she was speaking softly there because her boyfriend, her fiance, was asleep and snoring in the background. And, you know, the answer that she gave there, I mean, look, that was a very bad moment for her in Munich when she stumbled when asked about one of the major foreign policy issues in the world, and she just couldn't come up with an answer. And she said it was longstanding U.S. policy. And that was a misstatement of it. Longstanding U.S. policy has been to be deliberately unclear about what we would do, and she made it sound like the U.S. policy was that we would commit ground troops there. So it was on two levels: the stumble and then the misstatement of the policy was pretty bad. And for her then to turn around and say, "Well, what about Trump?" You know, you see this all the time, Brett. Attacking Trump and pointing to Trump is something that Democrats constantly do whenever something goes wrong in their park. They always say, "Well, what about Trump?" And you know, to a lot of their constituents, perhaps that works. But I think you can only go so far with that. I mean, sooner or later, these political figures are going to have to stand on their own, and Trump isn't going to be able to run again. So you can't run against him forever.
It'll be a long time to 2028, I think. Britt, as always, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.